Alex Cabello, the ACC preseason watch list, ACC Freshman of the Year last year, playing some fantastic volleyball. Bears on the attack, and that one comes right at Cabello, and the typical sure-handed setter watches that one fly out of play. And a 1-0 start for Cal. And as we'll see, Sophia Johnson, the current ACC Defensive Player of the Week, and she'll serve. And now the Cardinals can go to work. Outside look here, big swing, and that is going to be trouble. Good hustle into the seats from Desjardins, and we play on. Here's a look, quick set. Excellent dig from that back row. Bears will regroup. Antonio puts it across. Scramble drill here for Louisville. Bit of a bad pass and meeting at the net, and that's elevation right there from Chloe Chacoin, the Purdue transfer, as she puts one down and gives Louisville their first point of the night. And it's 1-1 here early. There's a look at Chacoin from Purdue territory there out of Lafayette, Indiana, coming over now to Louisville, a junior. And on the Player of the Year award watch list, ACC preseason, so some accolades out of the gate here. Bears attacking and converting, able to terminate. That's Shirlene Antonio. The transfer from Syracuse didn't play at all last year. Worked her way back from injury, made her debut back on September 20th against LSU. As now here's a newcomer, one of 5 freshmen for this Cal team, Francesca Popescu. Here come the Cardinals now, looking middle. What a dig there from Johnson. Desjardins rebuffed. Second effort coming here. Back to her, off the touch, up front. And now Louisville goes to work. Near side attack, and that's on the money. It's Calissa Blackshear, a freshman from Torrance, the California native, back on the West Coast, and able to convert. And a 2-2 start here. Good energy out of the gate. Louisville's been so good in first sets. Even when they lose the match, they win the first set, coming in here at 10-2. And off the touch up front. Back set, little off the mark. Bears are able to recover. Now Desjardins through a block. Looking to the outside. Dug out there by Cal. Cressy up front. Rebuffed by Johnson. Hayden, the quick look. And give the point to the Cal Bears. They went to Michaela Hayden. And she had a quick redirect for a 3-2 lead for Cal. 5-7 on the year, but 2-0 in the ACC, coming off a sweep of the Virginia schools last weekend. As now Desjardins, a senior, another veteran with Hayden on this squad. Back set, Cressy on the slide. They'll go across the way now. Peterson denied. Last touch, Louisville. Major block upstairs from the Bears. And they go in front now, 4-2. Louisville out west for 2. They'll meet Stanford on Sunday. As here's Peyton Desjardins. We mentioned Desjardins and Hayden. Those were really the 2 pillars that Coach Malcolm knew she could build around this season. The dig is there from Popescu, but then up front, Louisville showing off their athletic ability, denying that attempt and making it 4-3. Hannah Kenny, a freshman, comes on here to serve. 15 aces, so they look to her to provide a strong touch on the serve. There's a strong touch. Goodness. Hayden just powers that through a couple of would-be Louisville blockers, and a 5-3 lead for Cal. And now Hayden to serve. Hit a team high 324 last year. That was 12th best in the ACC. Across the way now, Peterson. Long range, Louisville looking, was there a touch? I'll say no touch, and the point to the Bears. And it sticks with Hayden. Little dump, pays off. the reverse there by Cabello. Tracked that one down and just flipped it behind her head to make it 6-4 to give the serve back to the Cardinals. Dan Meske wants to see more offense out of Nialise Cabello. Just raves about her abilities. Thinks they can get some more points out of her. Back row attack here from Desjardins. Now to the outside and putting it where nobody was, Chacoin. 6-5. And here's Peyton Peterson. Louisville trailing early. Phil's back row. Desjardins took a little something off of it. Cressy jammed it up front. Chacoin. Quick set there. Back row handles it for the Cardinals. Outside once again to Chacoin. Denied. Dug out by Kenny. They'll go back to the well. Tries to put it away from the block. Succeeds, but Cal is there. Phil's rebuffed. That one drops in and score the point for Louisville, while even at 6. Louisville last time out, a sweep over Syracuse, a dominant first set, 25-8. That set the tempo and the tone. Never looked back. Here's Phil's. And that's long. Could hear the Cal faithful calling for a touch, but that was just off target. And Louisville slides in front now, 7-6. Peterson. Finding Phil's. Quick set there. The dig from Kenny. And then Cressy cleans it up. And make it 8-6 Louisville. Their losses to number 2 Texas and number 6 Kentucky. They've got number 4 Stanford coming on Sunday. It is certainly a new look team from the one that made the championship final, but a very talented team. Short set there to Thompson. At the net, Bears were ready this time. Chacoin. What a shot, just a snipe, cross court, split the Bear defense. Make it 9-6. And so how about the run Louisville's gone on here? Now a 6-0 run, they've climbed out of the hole. They go ahead here, 9-6. Peterson, and a service error into the net. That ends the 6-0 run, gives serve back to Cal. They'll take the point as well, 9-7. And here's our first look at Maria Știrbu, the freshman from Romania. She's taken on the primary setter role. At the net once again, going outside. Chacoin goes with the left. That was a pass a little bit behind her into the antenna, and an easy call there for the up referee. That point to Louisville. They pull in front now, 10-7. Louisville serving here, looking for Johnson. She controls it now. Antonio. Way too much on that one. And we'll stay with Molly Wilson serving, the senior from Murrieta, California, the transfer from Washington, 3 years at UW. Over 700 assists. Johnson gets low, but all it does is tee things up for Chacoin, who does not miss from there. Make it 12-7. And that will lead to a Cal timeout. So Jen Malcolm wants to huddle up. Bears took the early lead. Louisville on a tear, an 8-1 run. They're in front 12-7. We'll step aside and return to Berkeley after this short timeout. Louisville leading Cal 12-7 here on a run in this first set. Let's take a look at our coaches. Dan Meske, previously the son in honor of Carly Lloyd, and She said she was hard on this Bears team a year ago, trying to build a culture, so that can take about 3 years, but likes the pieces they have and the direction they're headed as we return to live play. Chacoin takes a little something off of it, and that's exactly what the Cardinals needed as it drops in for the point. Make it 13-7. And we'll stay with Molly Wilson. After an 8-1 run, now a 4-0 run. It stops there as that ball's out of play. And make it 13-8. Substitution here for Louisville. A little confusion there as it seems as if Cressy would return, but not quite yet. As we look at Dominique Fills, a sophomore coming over from Iowa, one of 2 transfers on this Cal team. Too much on the attack from Hannah Sherman. So Cal getting a couple back, and that was just an attack error there out of play. That was something Meskey talked about earlier this week. Does not want to see his team hit the ball out of bounds. He knows it's going to happen every now and again. Give the point there to Louisville as Sherman aggressive on the attack. Here's a look at Coach Meskey. Cabello now. And we'll see an error here. Looks to be a rotation violation against Louisville. And the point to the Bears. And there seemed to be some confusion earlier when Cressy was about to rotate on. So now Chacoin got the explanation from the up referee. And Dan Meskey's going to take a timeout. Senses his squad perhaps a little out of sorts. A little reminiscent of Ted Lasso, believe, above the coach's door. And Dan Meskey talked about taking on this head coaching role, said it was just the same opportunity to serve, just with a different title. But it feels like he hasn't changed that much going from associate head coach to head coach. As we're back to live action here, a little jousting there at the net. Chacoin once again. And just down the line, that's some accuracy from Chloe Chacoin. And the point to Louisville. And here's Chacoin. Closing in on 1,000 career kills. She'll serve here. Hayden. And out of play. Good opportunity there for Michaela Hayden, just the attack error. So make it 16-10. Nice job here by the Cardinals, battling back. Desjardins there on the dig. To Hayden once again. That one's on point. Finds the back corner. Make it 16-11. Excellent set there. Shearboot spotting Hayden. And now Popescu from Johns Creek, Georgia. At the net. Long run here, and they're going to run out of space. That's into the seats. And the point to Louisville. Saw Dan Meskey just call for time not long ago after that rotation error. So they've tried to crack the code on travel to the West Coast. Remember, this is starting at what feels like a 10 p.m. start time for Louisville. So we tried all the different sleep things and adjusting schedules at home. He said we kind of just travel now and we adjust when we get there. Desjardins off the touch. Point to the Bears now, 17-12. And Peyton Desjardins started every match a season ago. Second on the team in total kills, just behind Maggie Lee, who moved on to UCLA. Serving here, big windup and big delivery from Blackshear. So Calissa Blackshear there with the kill, then subs out. And Kenny once again to serve. Quick look to Hayden, denied. They'll regroup. Fills. Overpass. Shearboot fills once again off the block. Cressy on the slide, rejected. Fills is there. Well, if you're Louisville, you want this all day. Cressy on the move and just didn't get enough separation there. The block is ready. Fills and Hayden. 18-13. Cabello back set. Cressy. That's what they're looking for. Off the touch, out of play. Point to Louisville, 19-13. Big change for Louisville. They go 6-2 last season, 5-1 this time around. And Dan Meske said, we really could have gone either way. We're well built to run a 6-2, but so we just couldn't deny the opportunities that a 5-1 would offer for Cabello and Cressy. And you're seeing it there. Back row attack here. And then a quick delivery from Cabello, and that's that added offense they're looking for. Cabello can touch 10 feet. They want to see her above the net and delivering kills. Timeout is called. We'll keep things here with a 20-13 lead. Actually, it was even earlier than that. Bears were up 6-3 in this first set. And then Louisville has turned it around, went on a couple of strong runs, an 8-1 run in there, really made it difficult. And now you're starting to see their finishing maneuvers here in this first set, now 21-13. And even with a meeting against Stanford on Sunday, the Louisville Cardinals coaching staff, they were not looking past the Bears. They said, this one is stressing us out more than Sunday. We know that our team will be ready to go up against the number 4 team in the country. We have to guard against them, overlooking a team like Cal. There's the kill for the Bears. He said they're better than the record indicates. They have a chip on their shoulder. They're well coached. Couldn't say enough positive things about the Bears. And again, look at the way they clean this up. That is a couple of challenging touches there, but it ends with a kill. And here's Shearboot now, 21-14, the deficit for Cal. See a look at the hitting percentages, all Louisville to start. But things like this will help up front. It's Arissa Carbonara, the freshman from Texas. Big block there by Carbonara. Shearboot. Chacoin, block. Placement from Carl, block, and then the attack. Bears not fading just yet. That is a well-placed ball. (21-16). Cal looking to make one last push here in the first. To Cressy, tough to stop. Sophia Johnson was there, just too much heat on that delivery. 22-16. And Wilson returns. Shearboot goes middle. And they'll say too long. No challenge attempt there by the Bears. 23-16. That was Sawyer Thompson on the attack. Thompson, another key returner. Shearboot now goes back to Thompson. A blast into the scorer's table, tracked down by Chacoin. Louisville puts it across. Antonio off balance, they're going to get her for a double. Remember, they've loosened up the rules on a double touch, but not if it goes across the net and not on your first contact. Those are the two areas. Up referee all over that, and that has quickly brought up set point for Louisville. Bears go outside, down the line, off target, and that's all for the first. So Louisville digs out of an early hole, and they finish the first with a flourish, a 4-0 run to secure the first set. The 6th-ranked team, a little out of sorts there. Talked about the shorthanded Cabello. One of her first touches goes out of bounds. They had a couple of balls out of bounds. They pride themselves on not doing that. They have the rotation error. These are not things of a championship caliber team, but we mentioned the travel. They shake all of that off, and they're able to really finish that first set strong going away as we're now underway here in the second. And Louisville picking up where they left off. More Chloe Chicoine. And a 1-0 start here. Chicoine now 7 kills. Trying to keep the good vibes going. She hit over 400 her last 2 matches. She's currently at 438. It's still very early, but she's dialed in here offensively. Back set, Hayden rejected. That's all Hannah Sherman, the junior from Silver Spring, Maryland. Sherman, 2 hands, ready and waiting. Using all of her 6'3" frame. And here's Chicoine, 2-0 start for the Cardinals. Off the tape, controlled there by Carbonara. Oh, excellent dig. What hustle from Peterson, then back on her feet in an instant. They'll go outside. Blackshear. Give it back to her. Reload. Carbonara is there. Here come the Bears. They'll put that ball across. Third effort there from Blackshear. Bears have been ready every time. Back row attack. We play on. Rally ongoing. Peterson has to shuffle the feet. Lines up that one. And now Desjardins. Peterson, soft touch. Did not touch the court. We play on, but then out of play. It's funny, everyone kind of paused there thinking that wasn't a pancake, that wasn't saved, it was down. Whistle never came, and then Cal ends up hitting it out of play to give Louisville the 3-0 edge. Here's Chicoine. Overpass, and then an easy kill for Peyton Peterson. That came right to her, able to slam that down off the Bears, and that will lead to a timeout here as Louisville has rocketed out of the gates to open this second set. A 4-0 start. Peyton Peterson, the latest to chime in for the number 6 team in the country. Medalist at the Rio de Janeiro games in 2016, has played abroad, played professionally with Love, with Athletes Unlimited, currently part of the Love Austin squad, and great to have her back on campus here tonight to be recognized. So many of her former teammates joining her, and we'll show you more from that ceremony as the night rolls along, as the Bears get a much-needed first point in this second set, courtesy of Shirlene Antonio. Here's Popescu. Blackshear, and that is Louisville having every opportunity to set up their offense exactly the way they want. It came right to Cabello. She finds Blackshear in motion, and it's a quick termination for the freshman. Libero, Camden Schran serving into the net, still shaking. A violation, and give the point to Louisville. They go in front here 6-1, so in a hurry they have taken control of this second set. Off the net and give the ace to Camden Strand, the junior from Kentucky. Dan Meske raving about her growth as a player. She had to battle to win that libero spot. 7 players were competing for that spot. How about another ace? Back-to-back for Camden Strand. 13 aces on the year now. Second look here. Miscommunication there as Desjardins went for it. Carbonara behind her. Meske said she's just owned the libero spot. 7 went for it. She won it out. Said everything about her is just different. She just stands differently. The confidence, the way she carries herself on the court. And give the kill to Ashley Lee. Make it 8-2 in favor of Louisville. So the Bears going to try to get on a run here. This has been the challenge for so many teams going up against Louisville. They start fast. They're talented. They can build a big lead. It's a very difficult team to then work their way back on because they also pride themselves on their defense. Blackshear, the placement is there. Last touch off of Popescu. She was ranging to try to control that one and just didn't have enough time to get underneath it. Anna Kenny. Off the tape. Popescu there. We go outside now with the left hand. Carbonara looking for Peterson. Blast that through the Bear block. 2 blockers up front, and they finish it off with Cabello. Second look here. Cabello, just that second effort, so quick. And Louisville, they have vacuumed all the energy out of Haas Pavilion right now in front 10-2 here in the second. And Cressy, just target practice, an absolute blast up front. You cannot let the 5th year who goes 6-6 just tee off on a ball like that. And Louisville, 11-2. Timeout is called. The change from a 6-2 to a 5-1 that has really allowed her to be the singular setter, to showcase her skills. And she is thriving. Already over the 400 assist mark on the season. At 52 against Illinois. At least 30 in every match. And then trying to add the offensive piece to it. As Cal watches that ball roll off the tape in their favor. They'll take every break they can get right now. It's 11-3. Service error from the Bears. Peterson serving now. Back set there. Dug by Kenny. Chacoin goes back row. That works. 13-3. Looking outside now. Block is there. Cal will go the other way. Kenny ready again. More Chacoin. Cressy just swats that out of midair. Using the height, block holding strong once again for Louisville. And again, the block is so difficult to get through right now for the Bears. They're trying to go around it, away from it, somewhere else. And that placement isn't there on that attack. Now 14-3 as the attempt is wide. Phil's back on for the Bears. Here's a little opportunity for Thompson. Chacoin blasts it off the block. And it's another for Louisville. 15-3 now. That one glances off the tape, stays in play, but not for long because the block is there with authority up front for Louisville. And there's a look at what they do in the ACC when it comes to blocks per set. Kara Cressy, a huge reason. That's why they're one of the best teams in the country. And they are flat out dominating right now here in the second. Off balance, just pushed across there by Chacoin. Bears are out of sorts. That's a free ball here. Cressy on the move and drops the hammer. It's all Louisville here in the second. 17-3. Peterson serving at the net. Cressy there once again. They go outside, just over the block. Cardinals can regroup. Chacoin skying. Overpass. Setter dump try. It works. That was Kenny. So sometimes you see that, I think typically you see that on the first opportunity from the setter to try and put that across. In this case, it was the setter, Cabello, setting up Kenny. And she recognizes a good opportunity when she sees one. 18-3. Well, against Syracuse in the first, Louisville won 25-8. If you think about some of their recent dominant play, 25-12 in the first against BC. They are on pace for something different here. And give another point to Louisville. Just not the set here for the Bears. Even when they seemingly get the block, net violation, make it 19-3. There's Coach Malcolm trying to keep things positive for her team. She talked about the tough schedule they put together, really wanted to test this squad. That's the road to the big goals that they have. Chacoin, this is clinic type stuff right here. As that attack had some heat on it and it split two would-be defenders there. And it's all clicking here for Louisville, 20-3. And give the point to the Bears. As that stops a 9-0 run for Louisville as they have taken control of this second set on their way to a 2-0 advantage. Service error from Shirbu. 21-4. If you're Cal, you're going to have to have a very short memory. Just forget this one and move on to the third. Here's Ava Utterback, who's come on to serve. Off the touch, the point to Cal. And Cressy returns. And now Dominique Fills to serve. Cabello giving off there to Sherman. Another point for Louisville. 22-5. Here's Desjardins, and turned back. Everything Louisville does right now works. Back set now to Antonio. Strand hunts it down. Goes up to Chicoine. Roll shot there. Back to Antonio. Dug out by Peterson. Blackshear. Say a net violation. That will go against Cal. Point to Louisville, and that brings up set point here in the second, 24-5. Louisville one away from going in front 2-0 here in the first of two to start their West Coast swing. Cabello serving. Antonio. Cabello falling backwards, puts it across, and that's just the kind of set this was. Everything Louisville tried worked. An absolute dominant showcase wide to honor an all-time legend. And that's really, when you talk to Jen Malcolm, she's well aware of the history, obviously, given her history. Wants this Bears team to get back to that level. Scheduled very tough this year. Took the Bears on the road. You think about the schedule she put together against a team like number 1 Nebraska. They took on number 19 USC. They took LSU to 5. Of course, that's before you even get into the heart of this ACC slate. And there's nowhere to hide in this schedule. But this is where they want to be as we're started here in the third, and it's a 1-1 beginning between these two. As it look at Coach Malcolm having to retool the squad. We mentioned 9 new faces. Lost some key pieces. Maggie Lee moving on to UCLA. Kate Mansfield off to Auburn. And a violation here. We'll get a double against Louisville. And so a rare miscue. Cardinals have been sharp since the early moments of the first. And now a 2-1 lead here for Cal. Trying to shrug off that last set, 25-5. And give the point back to Louisville. And just a quick look through Louisville's results this season. That is their best margin of victory in a set so far this year. Hayden, he's been held in relative check here so far tonight. Desjardins rebuffed. Antonio looking outside now. Block got a piece of it. Quick to Hayden. Looking for Peterson. Antonio trying to keep it alive, a little off balance. And the ball falls in for Louisville point. Look at some of the numbers here. And again, stats, no surprise. Louisville hitting .324 on the night. Cal in the negative. Negative .068. Side out percentage, 75% for Louisville, 32% for Cal. Again, you lose a set 25-5, you're down 2-0. Not rocket science here that the stats are not going to be in your favor. Hayden, big swing there. Peterson. Desjardins. Quick set to the middle. Sherman off the block. And you're seeing that versatility of the Louisville offense. Cressy, your main middle, but then Sherman comes in. They look quick set to either one of those two bigs. You go outside, you've got options. Chicoine has gone on runs throughout this match. Blackshear has been a focus. Of course, Peterson. And then what Cabello can do all over the court. Service error there. Neski talked about those errors leading up to tonight. Said he understands we're going to get blocked. It'll go into the net sometimes. Really, the pet peeve was hitting a ball out of play. So after a slow start by their own standards in the first, they have really found another gear. And that is just a missed connection. Stierbo trying to sync up with Hayden, and the timing wasn't there. And it's a 5-3 lead for Louisville. Here's Desjardins, blocked, comes right back to her. We'll go to the well again, blocked once more. Playable here for Louisville, and that's a cross-court winner from Blackshear. Look at the defense here from the Cardinals. Priding themselves on their defense, on their blocking game, and again, they just keep denying what Cal is trying to do, and eventually it pays off with a kill. Now Schrand now serving. Hayden on the slide, and we may get a challenge here, as the initial call is out of play. And so we will get a review. A touch is what Jen Malcolm wants to get a second look at. Did someone on Louisville get a piece of this? As it is currently called, Hayden on the attack. It goes out of play. It's our first challenge of the night. Remember, each team gets two. It's a make-it-take-it situation. If we went to a fifth, you'd get a challenge back, but you could only have a max of two going into that fifth. As we look back, here's Hayden. Did that get a piece of presumably Cressy's right arm, as I would think what they're looking at? Or did it come down? It seemed to split the two other Cardinals there, Cabello and Blackshear. With a close look around the net. Again, officials may have additional angles that we don't see as part of our broadcast. Just our amateur guess here, not being an official, is that they're looking at the right arm of Cressy to see if the ball glanced off her arm. It seemed to cleanly split through the two other Cardinals. But they will take a closer look. Again, you see the initial ruling is no touch, so they'll have to see something pretty conclusive that confirms it is a touch. And if you're Jen Malcolm, you understand it. Use the challenges. You're in a tough spot here. Here's another look again. Did that get a piece of Cressy's forearm? It's interesting. If you're going off body language, her initial reaction, Cressy's, that is, makes you think maybe she thought she touched it. And again, that was the challenge. It wasn't in or out. It was, did it get touched? This Cal team, they'll be back in the gym on Sunday to take on Notre Dame. So no matter how tonight turns out, great chance to get back to it against the Fighting Irish. This is a lengthy review here, so certainly not a cut and dry look at that last play. Officials really deliberating. Looks as if they have made a decision. So the call stands. The initial ruling, no touch, and that is how it will stay. So one challenge off the board for the Cal Bears and Coach Malcolm. And a 7-3 lead. Louisville on a 3-0 run. Tran to serve. And that's an error. That's the fourth service error on the night for Louisville. Stops their 3-0 run, gives a point back to the Bears, 7-4. Here's Dominique Fils. Coaching staff really high on her. I feel like she has a big-time arm. Liked the work she put in the preseason. Cabello gives back to Peterson. And Johnson, a run into the front row. Good hustle there from Carbonara. Just ran out of room. And an 8-4 lead for Louisville. Mr. Carbonara checking on the fans there as she went right into that front row. Everyone seems to be okay. Back set now to Hayden. The block. Overpass. Cressy. Field day. Again, the hustle there from the Bears to keep that alive. Louisville's so tough with some of their quick reactions. And then when a ball finds Cressy like that, it is tough for even the best teams in the country to stop it. Soft touch here. Didn't need much pace on that ball, but the result just the same. It's a 10-4 lead for Louisville. Hannah Kenny serving. Johnson has to track that down after the miss hit from Carbonara. Outside to Peterson. Popescu with the dig. Looking outside again to Peterson, and a laser beam blasted down the line. Popescu was there, but just couldn't get underneath it. And Cal will take a timeout as Louisville goes in front 11-4. Much because others have been filling in, just 9 attacks here, but you see what she's bringing anyway. As the Bears able to get a point back from Hayden. That's the 4th kill for Michaela Hayden. And now Hayden will serve. That stops a 4-0 run by the Cardinals. Cabello now, Peterson off the touch. And it's more for Peyton Peterson. From a volleyball family, to put it mildly. We mentioned her mom, a coach, Bobby, longtime coach at Northern Iowa. She is a twin. Her siblings are also twins. They all play volleyball. Cressy, easy money up front. Peyton's twin, Jaden, at Northern Iowa. And then her other sister, Bailey, also at Northern Iowa. And then Bailey's twin, Sydney, was at Texas and now Northern Iowa. Off the touch from Cressy. There's Peterson. On the move there, looking for Sawyer Thompson. Chacoin. Carbonara, good dig from Peterson. Cabello the hustle, Peterson puts it across. Overpass here, Thompson the dig. What hustle from Louisville. They don't get the point. They got just about everything else. What fight from this Louisville team. They're up 2-0. They're up big in this third. They do not take their foot off the gas. As Cal gets the point, they trail 13-6. Back row can't contain it. Fils. That last sequence there for Louisville, that's one that'll probably go over well at practice. They didn't get the point, but when they review film, you've got to love the effort. Utterback returns out of Plainfield, Indiana. Played for Circle City. They've sent so many onto the college ranks out of the club scene. And that is beyond the antenna on the attempt from Shearbu. And here's Utterback. And then too much on it. So another service error there for Louisville, serving aggressively here. And it's 15-7. Carbonara again has a bright future. 11 kills in the win over Virginia. 19 against UC Davis. I think she can be a big offensive force. Speaking of offensive forces, how about Chacoin? She leads everyone in kills in this match. That's her 12th. Started the night just 35 away from becoming the 27th Louisville Cardinal to reach 1,000 career kills. At 363 last season with the Boilermakers. Fills. And that is in. Another big-time double stuff from Louisville. Again, two come over to close that block. Sherman and Blackshear. Leaving no doubt. It's a 10-point lead here in the third, 17-7. 17-7, they lead in the third. 25-16, they battled out of an early deficit in that first. In the second, they left no doubt their best margin of victory all season long, and now here in the third, continuing to perform at a high level. With that said, the Bears get the point. We hit on it earlier. Jen Malcolm talked about it takes 3 years to build a culture as they try to turn this program back into one like we saw honored pre-match, one that was making national championship finals, that was sending athletes on to play at the very highest levels. They know there'll be tough days like this, but they like the direction they're headed. Fills into the net. Can they get it across? This one just gets over. It'll come back to Fills. Able to get a clean swing there. Dug out by Carbonara on the Blackshear attack. Fills again, took something off of it. What a dig out of nowhere. Schran flying in. And then Chacoin, ring it up. This is all Camden Strand laying out. You're wondering how she won that job. And the result is more Chloe Chacoin. She continues to add. See the digs numbers here for Louisville. They lead the conference. This time, Phil's the beneficiary. The block goes out of play. Give the point to Cal. Louisville leads the ACC. We talked about blocks per set, but also in opponent hit percentage. They're holding folks to just 144. They're doing it better tonight here against Cal. This one stays alive. Peterson hammers it off that Bear block, tooling the block out of bounds. And a 19-9 lead. Opportunity now for Louisville to get some reserves on as we see Jessica Trapp, the junior from Cincinnati. Just the third set she's played in all season. And does she have an ace? Not quite, as Cal's able to keep it in play. Peterson. And that one found the back line to give Louisville their 20th point here in the third. Louisville staff has talked about how do they get some of their reserves into matches. It's challenging. They play a very competitive schedule. They're in tough matches. It's a situation where either you're up big or you're potentially down big, where you can maybe get some of those folks that work really hard in practice an opportunity. Hayden tools the block to her benefit. 20-10 as Phil's ready to serve. And an ace. Give the ace to Dominique Phils. And that is her first ace of the year. And it comes here with Cal trailing now 20-11. Phil's looking for another one. She's got another. Back-to-back aces for Phils. And Louisville will take a timeout. Second look at the second ace for Phils. Drops it right in the bucket. We'll take a quick timeout ourselves. Louisville still in control, but they're going to huddle up here, trying to close things out in 3. We're back after this.
Fall in Georgia is awesome, but kind of crazy. And who has time to shop for natural gas?
Hey, get down. I said
Burgers are done.
No.
That's why Georgia Natural Gas keeps it simple, with great rates and reliable service. Kind of makes you feel all warm inside and outside. So sign up with GNG and get $100 off your first bill, because these days, simple is just what you need.
Let's take a look at what's ahead for the Cal Bears. We're back here on Sunday. Notre Dame, they're at Stanford tonight. They'll be here in the East Bay on Sunday. We'll have that for you on ACC Network Extra. Then on the road, they go back to the East Coast, do the Bears, Syracuse and Boston College, before the Florida schools come calling in a couple of weeks, Miami and Florida State, as we are into the heart of conference play. For Louisville now, we mentioned that big Stanford matchup coming on Sunday, then the Virginia squads, and then is that a daunting weekend or what? SMU and Pitt back-to-back. So a real challenging battle Sunday. They'll certainly be the favorite against the Virginia schools, but then they'll have to gear up against SMU and Pitt. Re-engaging with Pitt after their meeting in the championship semis a season ago. As we're back to live action here. And we'll get a violation. Into the net were the Bears, and a 21-12 lead for Louisville. Cardinals powered by Chicoine, 12 kills. 27 assists from Cabello. Hayden leads the Bears on offense with 5 kills, 18 assists from Stirbu. Here's Stirbu, loads it up for Carbonara, and they make it look smooth. That's the third kill for Arissa Carbonara. Hayden serving. Strand gets low to keep it alive, but then the Bears come right back. Up front, Thompson and Stirbu. And that's all Sawyer Thompson. Thompson had the most total blocks by a Bear since 2013 last year, 111. And Cressy takes a little something off of it. The changeup drops in. (22-14). Peterson serving. Stirbu looking for Thompson. Bit of an overpass, a joust at the net. Sophia Johnson gets it across. Back set here, and Cressy on the slide unloads. 23-14, Louisville 2 away. Good look there at the joust on our net cam. And then Cressy. That is what has been unlocked in the change to the 5-1. We can run that all day, and it is so tough to stop. Great swing there up front from Thompson. She drops the hammer. 23-15. Steerbu into the net, service error, and that will bring up match point for Louisville. 24-15, they lead. Cardinals looking to move to 11-2 with a meeting against Stanford on Sunday. Ava Utterback returning to serve. Steerbu, Thompson, overpass here. Goes back to Thompson, and we play on. So Sawyer Thompson has found a groove here in this third set. They've looked to the middle, and she's delivered. Now 4 kills for Thompson. Still match point, 24-16 here in the third. Carbonara. The dump attempt drops in for Molly Wilson, and that's all. Louisville takes it in 3, 25-16. They climb out of a hole in the